that game was definitely a rough watch. Um, but we're gonna talk about it. Welcome to the DY Proj channel. I'm your guy, DY Fly. All right, but yeah, man, we went out to LA, SoFi Stadium, lost to Jamie Lannister and the LA Chargers, 22-19. And yeah, man, we get it. It's like we get it, man. The nigga got one hand. All right, they're gonna show him every 5 minutes on the sideline, dressing up his arm or whatever. Oh, Justin Herbert, he's broke his hand. All right, man, we get it, man. All right, we get it. Just frustrated watching that game. I was very anxious throughout the day heading into the game. I'm like, man, we need this game. And it really wasn't a make or break for the season, but it was kind of like a make or break for our psyche going forward and trying to make a playoff push. Let's get to the obvious. Jalen Hurts, he played like botch BBL butt cheeks, and it is what it is, man. He had a bad game, man. He had a bad game. 4 interceptions, and then of all people, of course, he would have that Tom and Jerry ass 2 turnovers on one play, and no one has had 2 turnovers on the same play since 1978. Of all people, Jalen Hurts, Mr. Take care of the football, don't turn the ball over. He has 2 turnovers on one play. And this is the game that the Jalen Hurts haters, they've been waiting for, man. They have been frothing at the mouth, foaming at the mouth, waiting for, saying, see, I told you so, for a game where the season's kind of hanging in the balance and they put the ball in his hands and he didn't play well, man. He didn't play well. He's going to get cooked all week, and we got to sit here and take it until next week to see if they can bounce back. The effort was definitely there this game, and they seemed like they were trying to get it together on the sideline, and they were looking at the pads, and they were talking it out. To me, it seemed like the first time in a long time where it was like we were trying to figure it out, but we just weren't good enough. We just weren't good enough. And it sucks. It sucks. The offensive line, they played better. Saquon, he played better. I can't put this on the coaches, really. I got to put this on the players, Jalen and AJ specifically. The plays could have been better, man, but the players got to execute. The game was right there in the balance, skipping all the way to the end of the game. Jalen, he was leading us downfield on that 3rd and 16. He hits Devontae in the middle of the field. From there, I was thinking everything would be okay if they just score. If they score and win the game, then we can probably move on from this performance. And I think Jalen was thinking the same thing. I think he was very aware of the performance that he's had up until that point, and I think he was trying to get it all back in one play, and he knows better. Like, he should have took whatever Dallas Goedert had underneath, and he tried to fit it in for whatever reason to Jahan Dotson. He tried to get it all back in one play and tried to play, he tried to be the hero for the game, and that wasn't the move, man. That wasn't the move. I'm still not on the bench him and put Tanner McKee in. I mean, that's crazy. A quarterback, he's going to have some bad games. It doesn't matter who it is. From Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Josh Allen, Lamar, everybody's going to have bad games, man. But nobody calls for their backups. Nobody else is doing this. If Josh Allen has a bad game, Lamar has a bad game, Justin Herbert, he had 4 interceptions in a playoff game. Nobody's talking about his backup. He had 4 interceptions in one game during a regular season game. Some of the fans that turning on him, talking about, Tanner time or whatever. Man, shut up. I've never seen something like this where they've turned on a guy, the franchise guy. He delivered a championship, and now they're calling for his backup because he had a couple bad games or whatever. Like, I think Tanner McKee is good, and I think, wherever he ends up, I think he's going to play well. But if we go down this road of, all right, let's bench Jalen for Tanner, then you got to trade Jalen. You got to trade him. AJ, he had big-time drops, one at the beginning of the game, one, you see this one going across the field. If you want to say that's on Jalen or AJ, it's 50-50 or whatever. I think it's 60-40 on AJ, but whatever. And then you see the bomb. Jalen puts it in the only place that he can. AJ has to come up with that. And AJ, after crying all season, it's okay to get your jersey dirty, man. You can die for a ball. You can die for a ball. You could stretch out, help your quarterback out, try to make a play. You don't have to catch everything with your hand. You could stretch out and lay out for a ball. You can get your jersey dirty. But I will say I heard AJ's post-game press conference, and he sounded sincere. He sounded pretty broken up about it, about his performance. And the last time I heard him that sincere, a lot of people forget this, but after the divisional playoffs in the Rams game where, it was a snow game, and he had a couple drops in that game. A lot of people forget that. He had a couple drops in that game, and he even had a drop at the 1-yard line at the end of that game, and a lot of people forget that. And I remember after the game, he gave his post-game press conference, And he sounded very sincere. He said, man, all I do want to do is win the game, man. All I want to do is win. And that's when I knew that no one was going to beat us. Redskins, they were in for a beat. And that's what we did. The same thing goes here. He sounds very sincere. I don't know if this is going to pull us together, but he seemed like he defended Jalen and his side of things. And AJ, he needed to come up with those catches, man. I put this one on Jalen. AJ, the flag on Jordan Mailata, I think that was kind of BS, but the game was right there in front of us, and I think Jalen, he just effed up. But I will say this about the defense. They held up their end of the bargain. After last game, I was thinking to myself that they were a good defense and not a great defense, but what really elevates a good defense to a great defense is they get turnovers and they put points on the board. I think Vic probably drilled into their head that we can't rely on the offense to put points on the board, and it looked like whenever we got a turnover, they were trying to put points on the board. They looked like they were trying to put points on the board and get a return or whatever. So can this defense be great and try to carry us? Possibly. We're going to see. But it's trending in the right direction. They seem to last a little bit longer throughout this game and seem like they have the mindset of, we got to hold up our end of the bargain for 60 minutes instead of 50 or 55, I don't have any complaints about the defense really, but yeah, the offense is janky. Everybody's going to break down tape of, this person was open and that person was open about on the interceptions or whatever. And we got to sit here and take it, man. It is what it is. But for those people who's calling for Tanner McKee, that ain't it. Nick, it seemed like he was trying to implement some things that we haven't seen before. We saw some new wrinkles on the offense in this game. I don't really put this on the coaches, the players. They need to execute. So it is going to fall back on Nick for allowing things to get this bad this far into the season. I came to the conclusion after last game that I do like Nick. I like him as the coach for this team, but as far as letting him choose who the offensive coordinator is, that has to go, okay? That needs to be out the window. People want to say, what does Nick do or whatever? Look, man, I understand. You want to say that he's supposed to be an offensive guy, but what does he really bring for the offense? I think Nick can manage the team. He can manage personalities as long as he doesn't have to worry about the offensive side. All right, so if we get an offensive coach, we get an OC in there that he doesn't really have to tinker with the offense or whatever, then I think we'll be all right. And I think that suits Nick a little bit better. He seems like he got the formula for winning. Kind of like the Powerpuff Girls, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of spice, and everything nice. He's got the formula for winning. And I kind of like the fact that people think that he's an idiot. And, look at his face. He's a buffoon or whatever. And then he just keeps on winning. But he can manage the personalities on this team. And he ain't no punk, man. He ain't no punk. He's getting into it with Chiefs fans, Cleveland fans, flicking off coaches, whatever. Nick, he ain't no punk, though. He ain't no punk. That's why I rock with Nick. Is he a little bit unhinged? Yeah. But if he messes up, then he's going to take ownership on it. He's going to take it on the chin. He's going to get on the podium and he's going to spew a whole bunch of nothing, but you will take the shots on the chin, And if his players mess up, he's going to take the shots on the chin. He's going to take the blame for it. That's why I rock with Nick. We just can't allow him to pick out his guys for the offensive coordinator position. And I think we'll be fine.
I'm the man up in this piece. I run shit here. King Kong ain't got shit on me. I know what the fuck I'm doing.
But yeah, man, we got the Vegas Raiders next. Is it a get right game? I don't know. We got them at home. I guess that's the only positive. But hypothetically, in your mind, are we ready for 11-6 type of season heading into the playoffs and potentially going into a run? It might be bumpy. We might have some turbulence. But are we ready for that type of run? Hopefully we can get it together. Things are looking kind of bleak, but, we're going to try to figure this out. But yeah, man, we're going to have to take this one on the chin and wait until next week, see if they can bounce back. But like, comment, and subscribe.